coli levels in the river continue dropping. DC health officials expect to lift the advisory, warning people and pets to stay out of the water by March 2nd, and crews expect to be done with repairs by mid-March. After that, cleanup.
I'm looking at the levels every day. I mean, my boats, I can see them from right here. 7 News' Christian Flores reporting. More FBI agents who worked on Trump cases have been fired. Fox confirms the FBI seized Kash Patel's and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles' phone records in 2022 and 2023 as part of the investigations into President Trump's effort to overturn the 2020 election results and retaining classified documents when he left office. Meantime, at least 10 FBI employees who worked on the classified documents case were fired Wednesday. The FBI Agents Association condemns the firings in a statement saying, like other firings by Director Patel, they violate the due process rights of those who risk their lives to protect our country, ultimately putting the nation at greater risk. Chris Foster, Fox News. The arrest of a suspect in the Potomac murder of millionaire Robert Fuller has led to more questions than answers.
With Mr. James' arrest, there's still a lot of work that we need to do to try to get a better sense of who he was and what type of events were going on or leading up to the death of Mr. Fuller.
Captain Sean Gagan of Montgomery County Police on the arrest of Marquise James, the 22-year-old who worked as a medicine technician in a facility where Fuller resided, was taken into custody after he showed up for a court date in Montgomery County on an unrelated tailgating charge. This was also after James fired on a Maryland state trooper early Tuesday morning. That in Baltimore. For that, he's facing a first-degree attempted murder charge. Scott on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Loudoun County Sheriff Mike Chapman wants school resource officers assigned in all elementary schools, the same as they are in higher grades.
The board is split. Vice Chair Ann Donahue says evidence shows that SROs come with perhaps unintended consequences.
Once you start adding SROs into your school community, you see dramatic increases in the number of arrests, law enforcement referrals, expulsions, and out-of-school suspensions.
But the board's Carrie LaBelle says many schools in the largely rural county are too remote if there's a crisis.
I wouldn't want to be the board member that voted, oh no, we don't need SROs in our elementary schools.
Matt Coates on WMAL and WMAL.com.
We're expecting to see temperatures in the 60s this weekend, but it's all just a tease. The polar vortex is making a comeback.
Next week, we've got temperatures just like that are going to be in the 30s. We're going to have on Monday and a chance of snow around here. Tuesday also, we're still in the 30s most neighborhoods with a chance of snow and even freezing rain. By Wednesday, we're into the 40s. So when the polar vortex starts to shrink, it takes the colder air all the way back up to the north with it.
7 News meteorologist Veronica Johnson. Checking your money, the Dow futures are up 100 points, NASDAQ futures up 15. Up next, traffic and weather on WMAL.
Whether you drive a big rig, a tractor, or a pickup, you know your engine. So when we tell you that Shell Rotella is the heavy-duty engine oil that gives you enhanced engine protection to take you further and save you money in the long run, you don't have to believe us. Try Shell Rotella and you'll decide for yourself. Plus, right now, you can get up to $80 in MasterCard virtual reward cards when you buy Shell Rotella. And you can put your $80 towards anything you like. New fishing rod, a portable grill. What you put it towards is between you and your truck. So get $80 in MasterCard virtual reward cards when you buy Shell Rotella for enhanced engine protection. Go to Rotella.com/rewards to learn more. Shell Rotella, your truck, your call. Valid 2/1/26 to 5/31/26 at participating locations only. Subject to product availability. Reward varies by product. Terms apply. See details at Rotella.com/rewards.
WMAL traffic and weather. Here's Jamie Whitten in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
66. We're still bunched up eastbound coming out of Manassas toward the exit for 29 Centerville. Looks like along the right side is where we have the incident and the activity. Focal point of those delays heading out of Arlington, eastbound 66, still heavy to the inbound Teddy Roosevelt Bridge. That long-term construction project just at a crawl across the inbound 11th Street Bridge. Right as you merge onto the freeway, that's where we have crash activity. This puts the pressure on DC 295. Now, from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Tracking our next weather maker, that'll bring a chance for some showers as we head into the afternoon hours. Cooler highs in the mid 40s with maybe some light patchy fog developing this afternoon. We will see temperatures fall to around freezing by tomorrow morning. Tomorrow becoming mostly sunny, highs in the mid 50s. We're in the low to mid 60s to round out the month of February on Saturday. I'm 7 News meteorologist Eileen Whalen in the First Alert Weather Center.
46 now at Reagan National. I'm John Matthews. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
We know this is largely about power, that it's an adults-only, no-limit game. We kind of agree with Mao that political power comes largely from the barrel of a gun.
Yes, Ron Bloom in the Obama White House, he revealed that they essentially agree with Chairman Mao Zedong, the history's greatest mass murderer of humanity, that political power comes from the barrel of a gun. They are the Democrat Party in 2026. They're not liberals. They are the left. Well, very good and happy Thursday, too, and welcome back once again. You see that the Democrats say they know that power is something to be abused. As soon as they secure power, they begin abusing it for political purposes, targeting political enemies, because they're fascists, you see, and the commie, pinko, dirty, rotten, criminal, crime-loving lunatics. Speaking of which, Kilmore Abrego Garcia is due back in court today on human trafficking. And the Democrats are on the side of human trafficking and not humanity. They're with the criminal and not the innocent victims of human trafficking and the rape trees and all that stuff, but that's not important. And that's, but before we even get to that, what we discovered yesterday, another Chairman Mao and Ron Bloom and the Obama administration, the Biden administration, it turns out that the Biden administration's corrupt Justice Department, abusing the hell out of every ounce of power that they had secured, the Biden FBI, it turned out they were spying on the political enemies of the Democrat Party, and everybody is the political enemy of the Democrat Party. Got to keep that in mind. Here's the Reuters news agency 17 hours ago on Al Gore's amazing internet. It's exclusive, well, that's probably best that way. FBI obtained Kash Patel and Susie Wiles, White House Chief of Staff and FBI Director, of course. FBI obtained Kash Patel and Susie Wiles' phone records during Biden administration. Pretty good headline from the Reuters news agency there. Isn't that great? And Axios from Washington, D.C., lefties. The headline is Wiles, the White House Chief of Staff woman, Wiles, quote, in shock, end quote, over FBI phone records subpoena. Oh, come on. I mean, this is what the secret FISA court is for, and they've abused that and lied to the FISA court over and over again to get search warrants and eavesdropping warrants to spy on people because they're like communists. And when I say they're like communists, I mean in virtually every possible way. They're like communists. But this is the Soviet Union. The Democrat Party is the Soviet Union. The left is the Soviet Union. Democrat Party is the left. And then it turns out, and the media is very upset about a lot of this. Listen to this. Here's CBS News headline. At least 10 FBI staffers who worked on the Mar-a-Lago documents case are fired, comma, sources say. It's not official, but they have sources. I wonder if they have like 8 or maybe 10 sources, since they say 10 people were fired. At least 10 FBI employees who worked on former special counsel Jack Smith's investigation into President Trump's retention of classified records, just like Joe Biden and so many Democrats and Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton, and she's destroying documents and emails all over the place, but that's all okay. They were under subpoena by the Congress when she destroyed them, but that's no problem. Maybe a pre-dawn raid on one of Clinton's mansions. But 10 FBI employees fired, and according to CBS News, they had worked on special counsel Jack Smith's investigation into President Trump's retention of classified documents. And this is, you may remember, when they raided Mar-a-Lago. They raided Mar-a-Lago, and And they brought their own classified documents, cover sheets, you may recall, and they went through President Trump's file cabinets in Mar-a-Lago, and they went through Melania Trump's underwear drawer in her closets, and they might have some of them dressed up like her in her clothing. That's unclear. We're going to have to investigate that. Maybe a special counsel to see how they dressed. But the firings came after the Reuters news agency, CBS reports, after the Reuters news agency reported that the FBI had subpoenaed records of phone calls made by FBI Director Kash Patel and White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles when they were still both private citizens. As part of Smith's probe into Trump. They love an ever-expanding probe, these Democrats do. They honestly, they're going to need some FBI lubricant or something. The Reuters news article quoted Kash Patel, who alleged that the FBI had secretly subpoenaed his phone records, quote, using flimsy pretexts and burying the entire process in prohibited case files designed to evade all oversight. Oh, I would certainly think they would. They're spying on the political enemies of the Democrat Party because all power comes from the barrel of a gun. And the left is here. They shot Donald Trump. And who else did they shoot? They shot Steve Scalise. And who else did they shoot? They shot Charlie Kirk. And the Democrat Party, they're not well. They're a violent criminal enterprise. Patel did not. I love this, CBS. Patel did not provide any evidence of wrongdoing by the staff who were terminated. I think it's a clue if they were fired. That might be, they're going to see CBS wants to litigate because they stand up for the Democrats even post-mortem. The news media is there for you if you're a Democrat. He didn't provide any evidence of wrongdoing. Well, let me see. The FBI personnel, we'll say, the FBI agents that raided Mar-a-Lago, they did go through Melania's underwear drawer and stuff. I have no evidence they dressed up like Melania, but why else would you? Look. I'm looking for documents. Yeah, sure you are, pal. And isn't that amazing? So the FBI was spying on, and then they brought in their classified documents, cover sheets that say top secret on them and stuff. And the Democrat FBI members, they grabbed documents out of files, they arrayed them on the floor. And then they took the classified document cover sheets that they had brought with them, presumably in a briefcase and file folders, and they laid out the classified documents cover sheets on documents that they had laid on the floor. They photographed those classified document cover sheets stacked on top of papers, and they released those photos that they took to left-wing media, to CNN, and I think the New York Times. I got those photos first, and that is an attempt to sabotage the former president and future president of the United States. And the old saying, if you're going to kill the king, you better kill the king. And the Democrats here might have wounded the king, and now the news media has to jump in. And CBS News, which is allegedly making an effort recently to do fair and square news across the board. And here we go. Patel did not provide any evidence of wrongdoing. The staff who were terminated. Well, you should go. They'll form a union. That they'll have a big show on MS-13 DNC, and it'll be wonderful. Then you can see at CBS News. Special Counsel Jack Smith oversaw 2 federal probes, another probe into Donald Trump, the President Trump, and one case alleged that he unlawfully tried to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election. Now, he had some challenges to make because he believed that there were irregularities, keeping in mind, of course, that the Democrats have challenged every presidential election in the 21st century that they lost, starting with 2000 and the recount in Florida and the dangling Chads and hanging Chads and all that good stuff. And then, 2000 and 2004, they challenged. Then they won 2008. They didn't challenge that. They won 2012. They didn't challenge that. Then Hillary Clinton was going to win 2016. She lost. Then Donald Trump won, and they lost what was left of their minds. And they challenged that. They challenge every presidential election. They challenge gubernatorial elections in Georgia, Stacey Abrams, and all that good stuff. They challenge elections that they lose. But if a Republican does, if Donald Trump does, then then you're in big trouble because that's bad. And the news media will be all over you. Yeah, where's the evidence of any wrongdoing? Well, I'm sorry, what did they find in the documents? And as the president authorized to declassify documents, and your presidents often leave office with classified documents, and on and on. There are a lot of things to talk about there, but the Democrat Party. So we've got that, and this is kind of a big deal, honestly. At least 10 FBI agents who worked on Mar-a-Lago documents case are fired. I don't know, did they do a good job? And FBI obtained Kash Patel and Susie Wiles' phone records during Biden administration. This is the Soviet Union, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. This is not the United States of America, but you got to keep in mind that the Democrat Party is not the Democrat Party of old. They're not a liberal party. They're a leftist party. They're not on Team America. America. I always start singing the Team America World Police song when I think of Team America because such a classic movie. Isn't that great? And on Capitol Hill today, Hillary Clinton will allegedly show up for testimony, a deposition under oath on Capitol Hill on camera, but not for public distribution and use. Not today. Nuh-uh. Because it's Hillary. And, that might ask her about Vince Foster or who's the real father of Chelsea Clinton? Or, speaking of which, you see that Ghislaine Maxwell of the Jeffrey Epstein thing, was invited to Chelsea Clinton's wedding. She says she's there on Capitol Hill allegedly today to say that she never met Jeffrey Epstein. She just invited Ghislaine Maxwell to Chelsea Clinton's wedding, but no big deal. No big deal there. And Chelsea Clinton, keep in mind, it's such a little a circle fest in a hot tub. Chelsea Clinton married a young man whose mother was a Democrat member of Congress from Pennsylvania. And Jake Tapper worked for that member of Congress. Right? That member of Congress also had a husband who was a member of Congress, but he went to prison for corruption. But all this is okay when you're a Democrat. Hillary Clinton set for deposition with House Committee on Epstein probe. Another probe, so many probes in such a little time. And how the Clintons are preparing for their landmark deposition about Jeffrey Epstein. Gosh, can you believe that? But Bill Clinton had Jeffrey Epstein over to the White House 17 times while he was president for 8 years, isn't that right? And flew on Lolita 1 on Jeffrey Epstein's plane at least 16 times and maybe 20-something times. And all of this is just fine. When you're a Democrat, New York Times and the Washington Post and CNN and ABC News and NBC News all jump out to say, oh, there's nothing to see here. Just move it along. You've had this defense counsel all over television and the newspapers, isn't it great? And also, speaking of Jeffrey Epstein, Harvard math professor Martin Nowak put on leave over Epstein links. More Epstein links, more Harvard University. And here are pictures of math professor Martin Nowak at Harvard. Here are pictures of him with who? With Jeffrey Epstein. But wait a minute. That's after Larry Summers resigned from his position at Harvard. Now, this was Bill Clinton's Treasury Secretary, and Larry Summers, and he's all over Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein's all over him, the stank of Jeffrey Epstein and the whole thing, all over him. So here we are at Harvard. Martin Nowak put on leave without pay, I think, and then Larry Summers, who had been the president of Harvard University, and then he got in big trouble because he's an anti-Semite or something, and then so they said, well, you can't be president of Harvard anymore. We'll just give you $900,000 to teach one class. And then he had to resign because the Jeffrey Epstein stink got all over him. But we've got a great one here. And Michael was playing the audio for me a little while ago. Ilhan Omar, she is a jihadi. She is an anti-American. Says that her State of the Union guest was arrested and hospitalized during a Trump speech. I'm going to guess that she's mentally unstable and should probably stay in a hospital. But she was arrested because she was being an obnoxious expletive deleted and standing up and blocking all the people behind her from seeing it. It's not like you're waiting in line for an airplane. You're watching the opera. There's There's stuff going on, and she was blocking the people seated behind her. So she was arrested, tased, beaten with nightsticks, dragged away, and leg cuffs. Oh no, I'm sorry. That was Peter Navarro of the Trump White House that was treated that way. He was claiming executive privilege because he worked for the president at the White House. So they arrested him and put leg shackles on him during the Biden administration because they're fascists is the real reason. Yeah, and I was hospitalized. Help me, I'm in the hospital. Wait till you hear this woman. Also in Cuba, they say that a boat full of Americans opened fire on them near the coast of Cuba, and 4 people killed, 6 more injured by the Cuban military on an American-registered boat, 4 dead, 6 wounded, and the Democrats are with Cuba on this. Now, if Trump were to blow up drug runners, they're very angry about that. Cuba blows up Americans, Cuban Americans, maybe immigrants, then the Democrats are on the side of Cuba. They're really something. Yes, they are. Former Air Force pilot arrested for spying for China. I wonder if he knows Eric Swalwell. And the Democrats released a serial child rapist. They're paroling him from jail, even though he got 3 consecutive life terms for his deeds. Democrats say, what's the worst that could happen? 888-630-9625.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Centerville Fire and Rescue Units now at the scene of the incident. 66 East to 29 Centerville, right side of the roadway. And that's what's giving us delays now coming out of Manassas. Interloop at the exit for 66. That's where we have crash activity. Interloop slowing out of Merrifield and eastbound 66 after Nutley Street slows to merge onto the Beltway. Crash in the district, Summit Freeway, ready to merge off of the inbound 11th Street Bridge. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Cloudy with a chance of showers this afternoon and a high of 45. Partly cloudy overnight, low 30.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care, and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excelisforbusiness.com.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy Truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, the used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
Too fast, Trevor, too fast!
Here at the Zebra, research shows people would rather teach their kids to drive than search for auto and home insurance.
I know what I'm doing, Mom.
Or attend a corporate team building workshop.
Go team, feel that synergy.
Or be regaled by Uncle Frank's conspiracy theories. They're listening to us right now. That's why the Zebra searches for you, comparing over 100 insurance companies to find savings no one else can. Compare today at thezebra.com. We do the searching, you do the saving.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so, too. Now, have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop in and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
At Vanguard, Progress starts with purpose. We question what's possible, seeking bold ideas that create opportunity and advancements that help give investors a better chance. Because everyone deserves the promise of a brighter future. Vanguard, innovation that lights the way. Visit workplace.vanguard.com to learn more. All investing is subject to risk.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care, and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excelisforbusiness.com.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy Truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, online at widgetautosales.com.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $700 plus get a free adjustable base with select Sealy mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
WMAL's Vince Colonnese, weekdays at noon on 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
We kind of agree with Mal that political power comes largely from the barrel of a gun.
Sure they do. Of course they do. Maybe that's why Alex Pretty brought his gun and an extra loaded magazine to go attack the police on the street before he was shot and killed while he was fighting the police again. But he's the hero of the story in the Democrat Party's telling. Let's go to the telephones, Michael. Let's go to Kevin, calling from beautiful South Carolina. Kevin, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Good morning, Chris. Love the show. And I've taught strategy for one of the nation's war colleges for almost 20 years.
Wow.
And we use now. And one of the things that people miss from that famous quote is that that's only half the quote. The other half of the quote says, our principle is that the party must always control the gun.
That is a fact, Kevin. That is their essence. Now, I'm sorry, you taught strategy at one of our military institutions? Is that what you said?
I have for the last 20 years, yes.
Wow. Okay, so I guess you have, so when you hear that, you're frustrated. Well, that's only half the Mao quote, because, and you're absolutely right, it's very key. Mao then said, and I think it was a long time ago, even before the Communist Revolution, that and the party must hold the gun or control the gun.
Yes.
Wow. And
yeah, it's about the party being in control and the party maintaining control, and not the state, where there is a presumption that there might be some type of change in control, so to avoid losing control. The party must always control the gun.
I see. I hadn't even made that distinction. I think of in China as the party being the state, but that's an important distinction, isn't it?
Well, it is, and that's, a couple years ago, there was actually some concern when Hu Jintao was in charge in China, that the army was starting to write things in their professional journals.
They can't do that. The party controls them.
This is the Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL
Now traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. Late delays if you're coming out of Manassas. Crash up ahead at the exit for 29 Centerville. A lot of rescue units along the right side. Focal point of those delays. Northbound 95 pretty much cleared out between Triangle and the Beltway. Southbound slows into Woodbridge. 395 heavy across the 14th Street Bridge. Crash cleanup in the district. Westbound freeway right as you merge off of the 11th Street Bridge. Ties up 295 in each direction getting you there. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Cloudy with a chance of showers this afternoon and a high of 45. Partly cloudy overnight, low 30.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care, and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excelisforbusiness.com.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy Truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader on Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
Weight Watchers now offers access to affordable GLP-1s. It works for members like,
I'm Haley, and I've lost 100 pounds. Weight Watchers has everything I need, from weight loss medications to nutrition support and help with my side effects. It's all in one place.
Weight Watchers handles the insurance for you and offers affordable cash pay options. With our program, our members are losing more weight with expert nutrition and side effect support.
I'm Mike, and I've lost 135 pounds. Weight Watchers prescribing GLP-1 medications. It's been life-changing.
I'm Sharia, and I lost 80 pounds on Weight Watchers. I realized that it would take more than a prescription to lose weight and feel good on a GLP-1.
Better results, expert support, lose more weight, make it last.
I can't imagine doing a GLP-1 without Weight Watchers.
Get started for as low as $25 at weightwatchers.com/GLP-1. For over 60 years, we've helped millions of members find what works for them. Now, it's your turn. Weight Watchers. Watch it work.
Did you know that parents rank teaching financial literacy as the toughest life skill? That's where Greenlight comes in, the debit card and money app made for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and track spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn how to earn, save, and spend responsibly, while parents have peace of mind knowing smart money habits are being built with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/trynow. That's greenlight.com/trynow.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so too. Now, have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop in and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
The pediatric team at Community Health Center of the North Country understands your kids are the most important things in your life. And each one of them is unique in their own way. This means care needs to be personalized for each son or daughter you bring through the doors at our Ogdensburg Health Center. Dr. Sonny Patel and Dr. Tiffany Hecht accepting new patients now and providing that personalized pediatric care for every stage of your child's life. Visit chcnorthcountry.org for more information.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, And our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care, and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excelisforbusiness.com.
WMAL, making sense of the forecast, because you never know what Mother Nature has in store. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
You're familiar with the Democrat Party being the party of open borders. They want our country overrun by tens of millions of non-English speaking, uneducated, unskilled, slaves. The Democrat Party is the party of slavery. And they have this thing that they love. They call DACA, because everything has to become an acronym. And that's a Democrat scheme to destroy America, part of a broader scheme to destroy America. It's Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. It's just a stupid name. It's almost as bad as the JCPOA, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, where you let Iran get nuclear weapons and build their ballistic missiles up, and you send them plane loads of cash because the commies, like Barack Obama, who did everything he could and did a good job to ruin America, racist that he is, and polarize the country along lines of race. The Democrats, the party of the Confederate States of America, that's what they like to do. But here's a great story today on the Democrats and Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, DACA. You may remember Joe Biden expressed his love and adoration for illegal aliens that were thrown over the fence as children or dragged in by child sex traffickers or whatever. And Joe Biden, and they just lie about everything. He's too stupid. He might just be saying things that are wrong. Sometimes Democrats are lying, and the rest of the time they're just wrong. As Ronald Reagan said, it's not that Democrats don't know anything. It's just that so much of what they know is wrong. And here is Joe Biden.
I'm going to, once again, legalize all the DACA students. These DACA students are more Americans than most Americans are. No, I'm serious. Think about it.
No, I'm serious. Think about it. These DACA students, they're clapping. The morons are clapping, and they're lining up for Kool-Aid. It's Jonestown all over again. And yeah, no, I'm serious. Whenever Joe Biden said, no, I'm serious, that's when you knew he was lying. That was actually a rule during the Biden administration. Because he said, no, I'm serious a lot when people laughed at him because he's an idiot. They're more American. He says DACA, so illegal aliens are more American than Americans. No, I'm serious. That's what he said. Well, CBS News has a story, and they posted it last night. Federal immigration agents arrested 261 DACA beneficiaries. That's what CBS News called them, DACA beneficiaries, during the first 10 months of the second Trump administration, according to government statistics. Now, CBS News is trying to be upset about that. They don't like that, you see, because they illegal aliens, I heard them yesterday. I was driving in my automobile yesterday, and I was listening to various things, and they're still yelling, no person is illegal. No person. How about a murderer? Is a murderer illegal? No, a murder isn't illegal, but they've done something illegal. See how that goes? Carjacker. Is a carjacker illegal? Oh, no, the person isn't illegal, but they've done something illegal. They're carjackers. They're criminals. They're, it's like that. But the ridiculousness of the Democrats and the news media, but I repeat myself. So CBS News has the story. You really got to go deep into the story to find out why it matters. They don't put it in the headline or in the lead. But ICE arrested 261 DACA, Deferred Action Childhood Arrival recipients over 10 months last year. Federal immigration agents arrested 261 beneficiaries of Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals Program, or DACA, CBS News typed on behalf of the Democrat Party, during the first 10 months of the second Trump administration, according to official U.S. government statistics that were shared with Congress and obtained by CBS News. Make it sound like a Democrat gave them because that's how it works, CBS News, and Democrats on Capitol Hill are dating and all of that good stuff. But never mind any of that, because That's not actually the important part. But the way it's framed, of course, is that the terrible Trump people, they're arresting children, but they might have come here 30 years ago and they're covered by DACA. They're 50 now or something, but there it is, 48 anyway. But isn't that amazing? But here's buried in CBS News. The statistics indicate that the vast majority of DACA recipients taken into federal immigration custody during that period had criminal records. So wait a minute. What's the story here now? They have the vast majority have criminal records. How can that be? That doesn't make any sense at all. They're DACA. They're completely innocent. They haven't done anything. Sure. And the Democrats go around and they tell you, oh, Trump's just arresting innocent people. They're Americans. They've done nothing wrong. But buried in the story, you'll find the statistics indicate the vast majority of the DACA recipients taken into custody by the Trump administration during the first 10 months of the second term had criminal records. What kind of crimes, you might like to know? The government figures provide the most comprehensive official account so far of how many DACA recipients, I don't care, also known as dreamers, they're dreamers. Sure, it's have a nice dream in the penitentiary, have been swept up by President Trump's nationwide deportation crackdown. It's not a deportation crackdown. They're not cracking down on deportation. They're increasing deportations. That's not a crackdown. It's a crackdown on criminals who are in the country illegally. And by the way, illegal immigration is illegal. Did you know that, Michael? Illegal immigration is illegal. And no person is illegal, but a lot of Democrats commit crimes. See? Isn't that great?
Illegal immigration is illegal.
See, I told you. That was Senator Kennedy. He knows. He's a senator, for crying out loud. Yes, sir. Those enrolled in the Obama-era DACA program, and you could have been an illegal in the country for years and years and years before Obama's DACA program came along. So honestly, you can be a hairy ex-convict adult and be a dreamer. You're a dreamer. I'll spare you singing a dreamer. But can you put your hands in your head?
Our ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
Yeah, maybe 40 million. Let's all speak Chinese gang language because the Democrat Party is here. They're the open borders, no nations, America bad, America's founding terrible, Bill of Rights bad. It's again Democrat. I was reading about several days ago, is plotting to make it illegal to own a firearm protected by the Second Amendment, a firearm until you're 21. I'm like, well, let's make the whole, normally 18, because you're the age of majority, you're an adult, and you're protected by the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. But the Democrats don't believe in that. And if you're going to deny the Second Amendment to anybody under the age of 21, then why not deny the First Amendment and the Fourth Amendment to anyone under the age of 21, the Democrat Party. CBS News stumbles. Those enrolled in the Obama-era DACA program came to the U.S. illegally or overstayed their visas as children because their parents are gang members and criminals and things. They were granted temporary work permits, temporary for 35 years, and deportation protection after passing background checks and meeting several requirements, never mind their criminal records, including coming to the U.S. before June of 2007. How long ago is that now, Michael? Next year, that'll be 20 years. So that's minus one. Do my gazintas, that's 19 years ago. Before Chile. Not having serious criminal histories. How serious does it have to be? Serious criminal histories, as gauged by the Democrats, and graduating from an American high school or serving in the U.S. military. Well, those things might matter, actually, but listen to this. In a letter to Democratic Senator Dick Durbin of Illinois, known as Dickie the Turban, the Department of Homeland Security said that between January 1st and November 19th of 2025, ICE arrested 261 DACA beneficiaries, and deported 86 of them. The Democrats want them all back on the street and will give them guns when they get here. That time frame includes the final 19 days of President Joe Biden's term. Sure, it does, though it is unclear how many of the arrests occurred under his administration. I don't care, which rarely targeted DACA beneficiaries. What if they're convicted criminals in other areas? The Democrat, here's the deal. More Democrats, more murder. More Democrats, more crime. More Democrats, more carjacking. More Democrats, more gangs that don't speak English. And the Democrats think that makes them open-minded and enlightened. And I think they're investing in funeral homes and casket manufacturers, and maybe ammo. They should be investing in Smith & Wesson or something like that.
I say to the parents, thank you for bringing these dreamers to America. We're in your debt.
We are in your debt. Now, if you just stop committing so many crimes, and oh, by the way, you're here illegally, and that's kind of a thing. And CBS News says, oh, you can stay if you don't have a serious criminal history. And that's what CBS News says. Isn't that correct? Yes, sir. Yep. Crazy, man. Yeah. And here is DHS said in its letter that 241 or 92% of the DACA enrollees taken into ICE custody had criminal histories. 92% had criminal histories. And the Democrats and the media are furious that you would take these people into custody, that you would deport them. And that's because, by their policies, by their proclamations and declarations, that they are pro-crime. And, and their boy Kilmore Abrego Garcia, the wife-beating, baby mama-beating, criminal gang, human trafficker. He's an MS-13 member. He wears his Chicago Bulls gear everywhere he goes, which is the signature trademark of MS-13. And we had idiot Democrat Senator Chris Van Hollen go down to El Salvador to hang out and enjoy icy cocktails with Kilmore Abrego Garcia. And he's in court again today because he's trying to get loosed back into society, and the Democrats want that. So he's in court today for human trafficking, and he's an MS-13 gang member. And we know that he's a baby mama beater, the woman that he knocked up here. He was beating her, and then she got pregnant, and then he's beating her again. Then she married him in prison through the bulletproof glass. Kilmore Abrego Garcia asks U.S. judge in Tennessee to dismiss his criminal case, saying it's vindictive. That's the Associated Press. Now, asking to drop the human trafficking charges because, it's like, what, liar, liar. And I want to drop this because my client is so guilty that really, Your Honor, I demand you. So attorneys, he's got attorneys, plural, for Kilmore Abrego Garcia, illegal alien gang member, baby mama beater, will try to persuade a federal judge in Tennessee on Thursday, that's today, to throw out human smuggling charges against him. Abrego Garcia, whose mistaken deportation, it was not a mistaken deportation, has galvanized both sides of the immigration debate, claims that the criminal prosecution is vindictive. That, and you were caught driving real fast with a big vehicle full of illegal aliens hiding under the seats and stuff while you were engaged in human trafficking.
Your Honor, I object.
And why is that, Mr. Reed?
Because it's devastating to my case.
Overruled.
Good call.
92% of the 261 arrested had criminal histories, and the Democrats want more illegal aliens with criminal histories showering with your daughter at her junior high school. Let's go to the telephones, Michael. Let's go to, especially if they're transgender, because the Democrat Party is mentally ill. Let's go to Rich, calling from Manassas, Virginia. Ricardo, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Great show. The reason I called is I think it would be good, or would have been good at the State of the Union address, if President Trump had asked a Milton Friedman type question after he asked members of Congress to stand if they thought America should put citizens ahead of illegals. Friedman might have asked, do you think China puts illegals ahead of its citizens? Do you think Russia puts illegals ahead of its citizens? What do you think?
Yeah, do you think Canada, do you think any rational country puts illegal alien gang members ahead of their own tax-paying citizens who live squeaky clean lives. But what's wrong? It's a good thought, Rich, but what is wrong with the Democrat Party today?
Well, other than being snids, I think their mother may have withheld a little too much breast milk or something.
Possible brain damage.
I'd like to make another observation, in that some advocacy groups describe illegals being detained by ICE as non-violent. Well, in truth, if an illegal is wanted in their home country for murder, but they haven't murdered someone here, that's how they put them in the non-violent column.
It is.
I would still call people violent.
Well, let me say this, Rich, because this is true. The Democrats say nonviolent. They love to, but I've had liberals throw this at me again and again. Nonviolent. They do not count child porn purveyors, child sexual predators as violent criminals. Start with that.
Disgusting.
They're truly amazing. And in fact, sorry, Rich.
I said, thanks for taking the call.
Yeah, you betcha, man. Yeah, you bet. That's why we're here. Listen, in California, they just announced that they're releasing a serial child rapist from jail.
You're listening to The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL, making sense of the news.
WMAL traffic from the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center. 66 clearing into Centerville. The crash near 29 Centerville is over to the shoulder. South on 95 slows into Woodbridge. Northbound delays cleared out the Triangle in the Beltway. 395 still slows near Boundary Channel onto the freeway. And crash cleanup in the district continues westbound freeway between the 11th Street Bridge and the 3rd Street Tunnel. 11th Street Bridge inbound is jammed, and that keeps 295 heavy each direction, merging into the backup. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Cloudy with a chance of showers this afternoon and a high of 45. Partly cloudy overnight, low 30.
If your patio, sidewalk, or driveway is cracked or uneven, if you've tripped or fallen as a result, or if you're worried about the liability of an uneven surface on your property, American Concrete Services can quickly help. Don't pay the high cost to tear out and replace your sidewalk, patio, driveway, or pool deck. American Concrete Services has an economical solution which can raise and stabilize your existing concrete at a fraction of the cost of full replacement. They're environmentally friendly structural foam. With structural foam lifting, there's no heavy equipment to cause damage to your property and no loud noises from jackhammering. Best of all, most repairs can be completed in just one day. Have your entire patio, sidewalk, or driveway safe and level again. No job is too big or small. Call American Concrete Services now for your free estimate at 240-665-5665. That's 240-665-5665. Again, 240-665-5665. License in D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. NHIC 140530.
At Excellus Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best, but it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health plan experience, ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for you and your employees, improving care, and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits. Learn more at excellusforbusiness.com.
It's truck and SUV season at Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader. Just look at the rows of trucks and the rows of SUVs ready for winter, like a Ford F-150 XLT, yours for just $37,999. How about a 2022 Mitsubishi Outlander, just $20,999? Or a beautiful Chevy Truck Z71, yours for $26,999. Rows of trucks and rows of SUVs during truck and SUV season at the veteran-owned Widget Auto Sales, a used car leader in out of Washington Street, or online at widgetautosales.com.
This is the story of the one. He's responsible for keeping a leading healthcare facility clean and safe. And he trusts Grainger's high-quality HVAC cleaning and safety products, combined with their world-class supply chain, to consistently deliver, ensuring he's covered inside and out, so he can focus on keeping his facility clean to help protect the health of everyone inside. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Every sandwich has bread, every burger has a bun, but these warm, golden, smooth steam buns?
These are special, reserved for the very best. The Filet-O-Fish, and you can have them too.
Don't miss deals like a fillet of fish or 10-piece McNuggets. Get any two for just $6 and pair them with $1.39 any size soft drink. Price and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer. Single item at regular price.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Hey, Dad, I've been saving up, and I think I'm ready to buy my own car.
Well, son, I think so too. Now, have you thought about how you're going to finance it?
Not really. I really like banking with Northern Credit Union. They offer loans, right?
Well, of course they do. Your mom and I have banked with Northern Credit Union for a long time and have gone through them for a lot of things, like our home improvement loan for the deck we put on last summer. You should really stop in and see them before you shop around.
Yeah, but look, you can apply for a loan right in your Northern Credit Union mobile banking app.
Oh, really? Well, that's convenient. I knew anyone could apply for a loan at mynorthern.com. Looks like they're making it even easier now.
Apply for your next loan with Northern Credit Union online or in mobile banking. Not a member? Not a problem. Apply for your loan on our website at mynorthern.com. New car, used car, first car, home loan, personal loan, we've got you covered. Visit mynorthern.com to learn more. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
WMAL, making sense of the roads, because traffic doesn't always follow the pattern. Download the WMAL app to stream us for free.
Yeah, Democrat Senators Dickey the Turban Durbin and Padilla, nobody knows who he is, from California, and Kelly, who we should put back in space. They're all coming out and fighting for the illegal alien DACA dreamer criminals because more Democrats, more crime. They're not with us. CNN is spending their morning rehabilitating Bill Gates and his Epstein background. The Democrats, they got each other's backs. You know, they're not on the side of good. They're on the side of evil. On the side of the light, they're on the side of the darkness. They're not with us. And I haven't even gotten to the Democrats. They're really something. They are paroling in California. They are paroling a serial child rapist, child molester. And I want to get to and they're okay with that. But we've got Larry Summers at Harvard University. He's resigning as a teacher there. We've got another Harvard professor who is being suspended because of his Epstein ties. And Bill Gates apologizes to foundation staff over Epstein ties. And CNN says he apologized, so it's okay. Doesn't matter. The Russian women forced into prostitution who gave him a venereal disease that he brought home to his now ex-wife. And then he talked to Bill Gates talked to Jeffrey Epstein about secretly slipping him some antibiotics so he could surreptitiously put those antibiotics into his wife's food, and she would never know that he brought home a sexually transmitted disease from a Russian, I don't know, sex slave or prostitute or whatever the situation was. But Democrats, because CNN is like, oh, look, he apologized. It's all good. They're saying nice things about him. Let's grab a quick phone call. Let's go to Jason calling from Kensington, Maryland. Jason.
Hey, g'day, Chris. How you going, mate?
Very well, very well.
I can't remember, this is going back 30-something years, but I did when I got my green card, government agencies handling immigration with the great pains to make sure that they had affidavits to say that I wasn't a criminal and that I was okay to be processed as a green card holder.
Uh-huh.
And of course, legal fees and all that sort of stuff. But I was fine with that because I figured that you should know who's coming in.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, it seems like the Democrat Party, even though they were sort of forcing that on us back then, are fine with it now. It seems like you can't believe your own eyes when you see them on video saying that if you don't do it the right way, then you are illegal and you will be deported.
Yeah. Well, they flip-flopped on this, Jason, quite substantially, and we got to keep in mind that they lie a lot, and they're not truthful at all. Like this whole insider trading in Congress, Democrats applauded that. They'll never vote. WMAL-FM
a.m. with Bridge Washington, a Cumulus media station. Making sense of the news. News Talk 105.9. News now.
WMAL News at 10. Good morning, everyone. I'm John Matthews. At this hour, Kilmar Abrego Garcia is in a Tennessee courtroom asking that the case against him be dropped.
Today, his lawyers are trying to prove the human smuggling charges against him are retaliation from the Trump administration. Abrego Garcia claims administration officials are trying to punish him because they were forced to bring him back to the U.S. after being mistakenly deported last year. Previously, the judge found some prosecutorial evidence might have been vindictive. In 2022, Abrego Garcia was pulled over in Tennessee for speeding. There were 9 passengers in his vehicle. Officers shared suspicions of smuggling, but he was let off with a warning.
7 News' John Rogers. On a related note, a federal judge in Boston ruled that deporting undocumented immigrants to countries where they are not citizens is unconstitutional, saying the government must provide more time for people to legally challenge their removals over concerns they could face imminent danger. The judge's ruling invalidates a policy memo last spring from ICE that allows enforcement officers to depart migrants to countries that are not their own with as little as 6 hours ruling or notice. The judge criticized the government for implementing a policy that relies on vague assurances that the migrants will not be persecuted or harmed once they arrive in those third countries. The FBI subpoenaed Kash Patel and Susie Wiles' phone records as part of a federal probe into then former President Trump back in 2022.
As far as the phone records are concerned, we're told they are toll phone records. This means investigators were able to largely see phone numbers called, times, and dates, but not the specific content of calls, except in one instance. In 2023, 2 FBI sources tell Fox News bureau agents recorded a phone call involving Susie Wiles, the private citizen, and her attorney. Our sources say that Wiles' attorney was aware the call was being recorded, but she reportedly was not.
Fox News' David Spunt, at least 10 FBI employees tied to this probe have since been fired. Former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton sits today for a closed-door deposition in the House probe of the Jeffrey Epstein scandal.
House Oversight Committee taking its work on the road, wanting to know more about Bill Clinton's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. The Oversight Committee deposing Hillary Clinton in Chappaqua, New York, not far from the Clintons' home. Hillary Clinton will appear today. Bill Clinton is expected tomorrow. And here are the 5 topics for the depositions agreed upon by the Clintons and the Oversight Committee. How the government allegedly mishandled the inquiry into Maxwell and Epstein, circumstances surrounding Epstein's death, how the government can tackle sex trafficking, how Epstein, Maxwell worked with powerful figures to protect themselves, and possible ethics and rules violations by elected officials.
Fox News' Lucas Tomlinson. The spring real estate market is shaping up to be much busier this year than last.
Right now, rates are the lowest they've been in about 3 years. I just saw a 5 5/8 30-year fixed with 1/8 of a point, which is phenomenal.
Corey Burr with TTR Sotheby's International says buyers do have more to choose from.
So even though the inventory is much greater than it's been over the last 5 years, there's still a tightness in inventory in the most desirable locations for the properties in the best condition that are priced reasonably.
Scotland on WMAL and WMAL.com.
Checking your money. The Dow is up 113 points this hour. The NASDAQ is down 202. Up next, traffic and weather on News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Imagine having complete clarity about your health, not just test results, but a clear plan built around you. Today, body scans and lab tests are easy to access, but true peace of mind comes from understanding what they mean and what to do next. At Princeton Longevity Center, we go beyond testing to deliver clarity, strategy, and physician-led care designed to help protect and extend your life. Our patients work directly with board-certified physicians specializing in preventive and longevity medicine. Not algorithms, not generic reports, but real doctors who understand your history, your risks, and your goals. Yes, we use advanced imaging and comprehensive diagnostics, but what truly matters is what comes next. We interpret the results, connect the dots, and deliver a physician-led personalized plan you can act on with confidence. Because information alone doesn't change outcomes. At Princeton Longevity Center, your care doesn't end with a test. It begins there. Call 888-8000-PLC. or visit PrincetonLongevityCenter.com. That's 888-8000-PLC.
This ad is brought to you by GSK. Have you considered starting Ojjaara, momelotinib, for your appropriate patients? Review the efficacy of Ojjaara, including data from our head-to-head trials, Simplify-1 and Momentum, at startojjaara.com. That's startojjaara.com.
WMAL traffic and weather. Here is Jamie Witten in the Hadid Carpet Cleaning Traffic Center.
That way leaving Alexandria, the outer loop is slow to get across the Woodrow Wilson Bridge. In the center through lanes, just the left lane gets by the work truck there. Watch for possible work zones southbound 95 into Woodbridge. Extremely slow now heading south of Lorton over the Occoquan. In the district, crash cleanup continues westbound freeway between the 11th Street Bridge and the 3rd Street Tunnel. This keeps us extremely slow on the inbound 11th Street Bridge and 295 North jam before the Suitland Parkway. Now from GarageDoorRepair.com, the WMAL Stormwatch 7 forecast.
Scattered showers this afternoon into early evening. Daytime highs mid-40s to around 50 degrees. Might see a little bit of fog overnight. Highs on your Friday will be in the 50s, trending dry, very mild on Saturday, lower 60s. I'm 7 News meteorologist Steve Rudin in the First Alert Weather Center.
Right now it is 47 degrees at Reagan National. I'm John Matthews. News Talk 105.9 WMAL.
Now on 105.9 FM and streaming worldwide on the WMAL app. Chris Plant.
According to a new report, the UFC fight scheduled to take place this summer on the White House South Lawn will feature a weigh-in at the Lincoln Memorial. Wow, you got to work pretty hard to be the worst thing that's ever happened to Lincoln.
It's the worst thing that ever happened to Lincoln. Other than a Democrat shooting him in the head and murdering him, our first American president assassinated by the first Democrat Party presidential assassin. Because he loved slavery so much. The Democrat Party thing you wouldn't understand. Well, very good and happy Thursday to you and welcome. Bill and Hillary Clinton due on Capitol Hill today. At least Hillary. Bill might be there as a show of support. You know, a show of support or not, because he doesn't actually support her. But Hillary's supposed to testify under oath and on camera on Capitol Hill today about Jeffrey Epstein and the Clinton family ties. Jeffrey Epstein close ties to the Clinton Foundation, financial ties, and wink, wink, maybe a lot more. Jeffrey Epstein to the Clinton White House while Bill Clinton was there. What was it, 17 times? I think 17 times. Jeffrey Epstein going to the Bill Clinton White House. I wonder if Hillary was ever there. She said she'd never met him, but then she invited Ghislaine Maxwell to Chelsea Clinton's wedding. And could you bring 3 dates for my friends? That little Animal House reference there. Dawn Leibowitz. She was going to make me a pot. But that's going to happen allegedly on Capitol Hill. Hillary might just pull out and flee to El Salvador or something. Because they're crooks, you know, that's the thing. But about Jeffrey Epstein and Hillary will allegedly be under oath and on camera, but they're not going to be airing it live on C-SPAN or anything, which would be more fun, I've got to say. And we could get audio sooner, but that's going to be a problem. So we're going to keep our ear to the ground on Hillary Clinton and maybe Bill Clinton going to Capitol Hill today to testify about Jeffrey Epstein, Hillary Clinton scheduled today, Bill Clinton scheduled to testify tomorrow. They don't really stick together. If you know what I mean, but the Clintons now in the Jeffrey Epstein thing, and again we've got another Harvard professor that had to resign. We learned last night because of Jeffrey Epstein, and the former president of Harvard and former Treasury Secretary for Bill Clinton, Lawrence Summers, who likes to go by Larry Summers. He is being forced out at Harvard, too, because of all of his Jeffrey Epstein stuff. So we keep going through this. They just want to lynch Trump. That's it. They shot him once. They tried to shoot him more than once. They impeached him for having a non-disclosure agreement with a woman who couldn't remember what year something happened in a department store in New York. And the Democrats, they're just waging jihad. They're a lynch mob. They've always been a lynch mob. And we've got a lot going on over there. The Democrat Party, they provide me with all of this stuff. There's one thing I do want to drop in here, and that is that
the fuck? Fucking idiot motherfuckers.
With VerboCare, help is always ready, before, during, and after your stay. We've planned for the plot twist, so support is always available. Because a great trip starts with peace of mind.
Most people would rather assemble a 300-piece cabinet than search for insurance. That's why the Zebra searches for you, comparing over 100 insurance companies to find savings no one else can. Compare today at thezebra.com.
2024, $77 million in 2023. Its financial woes were the primary reason behind the layoffs of 1/3 of its workforce, which eliminated its sports section and many foreign bureaus. You know, they're foreign, really. It's like a foreign object in your eye. Jeff D'Onofrio, nice Italian name, the Washington Post acting publisher and CEO, and its executive editor, Matt Murray, held a small meeting Wednesday to discuss the 148-year-old newspaper's financial condition and productivity. D'Onofrio told staff that expenses exceeded revenue between 2022 and 2025 as the Post hired hundreds of staffers in the prior years. He added that the number of news stories published by the paper fell, listen to this, by 42% since 2020, while newsroom costs were up 16% in 2025 when compared to 2020. So I'm guessing that what's happened here is they have Democrats running the place, and Democrats aren't good with math or economics or running a business, and they'll bankrupt everything eventually. We are about $38 trillion in debt in the United States of America, and why would any of this be a problem, right? So we got that. And we were just talking about this a couple of minutes ago, too, but the Democrats, you know, they love child molesters, everybody knows that, and child sexual abuse and child genital mutilation and, you know, sex and children with the Democrats. Something we should keep the kids away from the Democrats, that's for sure. But in California, here's the headline. Child predator dubbed monster parents fear most. That's a judge called him, the monster that the parents fear most. Cleared for release through California parole program. David Allen Funston, 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 he's a Funston, was convicted of kidnapping and sexually assaulting multiple children younger than 7 years old in the 1990s. He's a grown man. A California child molester, once described by a judge as the monster parents fear the most, has been cleared for release under the state's elderly parole program, a decision local law enforcement said puts communities at risk, and prosecutors are now scrambling to stop. Can you believe that? We've got police chiefs and you've got prosecutors who are saying, oh, Lord, don't release this person. Are you out of your mind? He's a serial child kidnapper and rapist, and he was sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences. 3 consecutive life sentences because he's such a creep, such a terrorist. The California child molester and the monster that parents fear the most. David Allen Funston, who's 64 years old now, was sentenced in 1999 after a Sacramento County jury found him guilty of 16 felony counts for a series of abductions involving children younger than 7. Funston received more than 20 years in prison, listen to this, plus 3 consecutive life terms of 25 years to life. Shouldn't it be 3 consecutive life terms plus 20 years? Should rather than 20 years plus 3 consecutive life sentences. After serving more than 2 decades behind bars, he became eligible for consideration for parole under California's elderly parole program. It's an elderly parole program, and And he's not as young as he used to be. So the Democrats are like, oh, heck, let him go. He's 64. Is that elderly? Is that you're not old enough for his Social Security or any of that stuff? Is that maybe he's collecting early? So they say, well, he's 64 years old. Come on, he's elderly. Let's release him from prison for crying out loud. And isn't that amazing? Now, the Sacramento County Sheriff, he's the chief. He's got 4 stars on each of his collars on his shirt. His name is Jim Cooper. And he seemed like a really squared away guy, actually. Sacramento County, California, County Sheriff Jim Cooper on the Democrats deciding to release the serial child kidnapper rapist.
There are some folks that deserve a second chance in life. Someone that does these type of things, they don't deserve a second chance in life. What are we coming to as a society here in California that is okay with this, to let him out? What the hell is going on in California? 100%. What is happening in our state? This cannot happen. It's not okay.
Democrats is the one-word answer to what's happening in your state. Isn't that amazing? And the Sacramento sheriff tweeted out, sentenced to 3 life terms. Why was serial child rapist molester David Funston granted early release? And in the mugshots, he's got a ear-to-ear grin, big smile. The people of Sacramento, every parent across California deserve answers, the sheriff's office in Sacramento said. California Parole Board granted parole to David Allen Funston, a serial child molester. And the Democrats are, yeah, well, sure, of course we release serial child molesters that kidnap children under 7 and sexually assault them. And then we sentence them to 3 life terms plus 20 years. And then forget about the 3 life terms. It's been 20 years. He's elderly. We've got an elder. He's old. He's 64. Let's release him from prison because Democrats. Aren't they something? Yes, they are. Public safety is not public safety under Democrats. Unless you're a career criminal and illegal alien, ideally, it would be better that way. Yes, sir. All right, so we got that. I wanted to get to that one because that's typical of the Democrats, isn't it? They're just on the side of everything stupid. And more than 90% of DACA, the Dreamers, and more than 90% of them arrested in the first year of President Trump's second term, the first 10 months actually, and more than 90% of them are criminals that have criminal records other than being in the country illegally. And the Democrats cry and they sob, and the Dreamers, they're just children. They're like 40 because they've been here forever. And now 92% of them have criminal records that have been arrested. The 261, and the Democrats are sobbing and crying for the criminals because they want them loose on the streets to kill more and commit more crimes, like kill more Abrego Garcia, who's in court today because he wants a judge to throw out all the charges against him having to do with human trafficking. Here's the video, the police body cam video of him being arrested with a vehicle full of illegal aliens that he was smuggling to Maryland. And that's okay. They like human trafficking, the Democrats do. They like cheap labor. The first Civil War was because the Democrats really liked cheap labor. It was called slavery then. Now it's DACA, I think, is the thing. Aren't they great? Yes, they are. All right, and they're not on our side. They're on the side of goodness. Let's go to the phones, Michael. Let's go to, I don't have any more audio on that, right? Yeah. Let's go to Roy, calling from Manassas, Virginia. Roy, you're on the Chris Plant Show.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, Roy.
Glad you took my call. It's a first-time caller.
Welcome. Glad to have you.
Let you know you're my favorite, man. Back when I worked a 9-to-5 job, I used to take my lunch break and I'd listen to half you and half Rush.
Is that right? That's very good. Well, thank you very kindly. That's very flattering. Thanks.
Listen, I've been listening to the WMAL all day, and I keep hearing about the school board trying to shut down the school resource officers, getting them back in there. And their reasons are because they lead to more arrests and more school suspensions. Am I crazy, or is that saying that the reason they don't want them in there is because they'll make the school safer?
They don't want the schools to be safer. They want schools to be more dangerous. They don't believe in the Second Amendment. They don't believe in the Bill of Rights by extension, because it's the Second Amendment, the Bill of Rights. But they don't want, they're anti-police, right, Roy? They're anti-ICE. They're anti-enforcement of immigration laws. They want DACA and gang members and Kilmore Abrego Garcia to be in school with your daughter. They don't want police in school because police are the problem. And when there's a school shooting, God forbid, let's call the police and, like in Texas, stand outside for an hour. The Democrats, under the Democrat plan, everybody is worse off. Everybody is less safe. Everybody's in more danger. Schools are more dangerous. And you say school resource officer, police officer in or outside the school. And Democrats are like, we've got to ban that. What's the predictable outcome there, Roy?
Yeah, they lost their minds. I mean, I said, and I watched just like Trump last night when he gave the State of the Union.
Uh-huh.
I mean, these people, I agree with him 100%. They're crazy.
They are crazy.
It's crazy.
Honestly, you ask him. He asked them, "Are you? The number one duty of government to protect American citizens?" And they added, "Against illegal aliens." And they're like, "Oh no, it's the Democrats are here to protect illegal aliens from the law."
I mean, isn't that really some type of treason? I mean, they took an oath when they got that position.
They didn't mean it. They were only kidding.
No, they didn't.
No, they definitely didn't mean
They
it.
really didn't.
No.
They really didn't. Listen, Chris, I'm a truck driver. I've been a truck driver for a long time.
Huh?
I used to drive over the road, but now I drive local. And you talk about these illegal aliens getting CDLs, brother. I pass them on the road. I get up there beside them, and they have their cell phones in their hands with the steering wheel and both feet up on the dash.
Wow.
Every time you pass one, their feet up on the dash. That's what's no wonders. I mean, it's like they're going for a Sunday drive in their daggone car.
What could go wrong? I mean,
what could possibly happen?
Yeah, I think illegal alien truck drivers with commercial driver's license killed six normal people in Indiana alone in the last couple of weeks, including 4 Amish. Killing people. The Democrats get people killed. Sad but true. Roy, glad you called in at long last. Thanks.
Look, nobody stands up. These people are crazy. I'm telling you, they're crazy.
There's only one Chris Plant. The Chris Plant Show. News Talk 105.9 WMAL. Making sense of the news.
What if we could reduce carbon emissions and strengthen the economy? At ExxonMobil, we believe both are possible. As a global leader in carbon capture and storage, we're empowering industries to reduce their emissions, all through technologies that are creating job opportunities in America. How's that for a win-win? ExxonMobil, let's deliver.
At Excelis Blue Cross Blue Shield, we know healthcare works best when it works together. That's why we provide a coordinated, caring, personalized, and holistic health.
All right, I have to leave.
Ensuring that people come first. Service is simple, and our network is unmatched, period. It all comes down to connecting the dots for
My ride's going to be here. I'm leaving.
improving care and helping to manage costs for everyone. Because when everything works together, everybody benefits.